Hello, everybody. I'm Jonathan Coachman, and this is Super Bowl Sunday on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Baltimore Ravens. With that, it's time for Super Bowl 54, and we'll send you now to Miami, standing by to call their fourth Super Bowl together. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach. Well, the road ends here. It has been a wild, often unpredictable 2019 season, and now it's time for the greatest spectacle in all of sports. Super Bowl 54 from Miami. You know, this town has played host to 10 Super Bowls in the past, and tonight we write chapter number 11. And what a matchup we've got. Tonight it's all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the AFC champion Baltimore Ravens taking on the champions from the NFC, the Minnesota Vikings. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis, thrilled to be with you for this one. And Charles, the Ravens, they've done it again. Champions of the AFC. Remember, they won Super Bowl 47 back in February of 2013, but had not won so much as a playoff game since then.
And remember, the franchise moved from Cleveland, but they started as a true fresh franchise. They didn't take the Browns with them. They became the Ravens. That was 1996. Won a Super Bowl over the Giants. Was that Super Bowl 35 in Tampa. They've won it twice overall, trying to win another one. And there's always a trademark when you think about the Ravens, right? The way they play defense, the way they run the football, how tough and hard-nosed they are as an organization. Trying to do it one more time.
Meanwhile, the Minnesota Vikings are back in the big game for the 5th time in franchise history, but we all know one thing has eluded them all these years.
And that's an actual Super Bowl victory, partner. They're 0-4 in their previous visits, Super Bowls 4, 8, 9, and 11. And boy, they had some great teams too, didn't they? Bud Grant was their head coach, Fran Tarkenton a quarterback, Alan Page and the Purple People Eaters on defense. They were all Hall of Famers. And don't forget Paul Krause. He's a very proud member of that great secondary they had. So we're going back more than 40 years since their last visit. You think the state of Minnesota is excited about this one? I know they are. They're ready to get this one going.
The first Super Bowl of a new decade, Super Bowl 54, is underway. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. So here come the Ravens with their first look on offense. They will be led out by the former Heisman Trophy winner back in 2016. Always a handful to contain, Lamar Jackson. And the former Heisman winner, this is Mark Ingram. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 12 yards the pick up there. Good for a Raven first. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
They try to run on first down, but this defense says no dice. They stop them a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. And a very good offensive unit here. One of the reasons they're so good is running back Mark Ingram.
Took a little while for him to find his footing when he got into the league, but the former Heisman Trophy winner has it now and has really upped his pass receiving potential. A nice player.
Ready.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, Jackson. And he's got his man, Marquise Brown. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 39. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up the first down.
Now a first down run is going nowhere. He's going to be dropped in the backfield, a loss of 2. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They'll run. This is Gus Edwards. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. Quickly now a look at the defensive starters for Minnesota.
Harrison Smith is a player I love to watch. Whether he's ranging deep as a free safety or near the line of scrimmage where he makes more plays, keep your eyes on him.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down. Jackson from the shotgun. He'll buy some time right. He can run for it, and he will. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 28.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
Now Jackson. Flushed out right. Now he'll pull it down. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down. He'd had some success as a runner previously on this drive, just not as much space there that time.
Yeah, this time when he pulled it down, they were ready for him, so I think he's going to have to fling a few in order to open up that running lane again.
Snead's got it. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
They'll fake the give to Ingram. Now Jackson. He'll run it. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
Let's go now. Come on, go to base. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. It's our field.
On second down, Ingram. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
To throw is Jackson. That's into the hands of the tight end, Boyle. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be fourth down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
So on fourth down, here's the Ravens Pro Bowl kicker, Justin Tucker, out onto the field. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And the Ravens strike first at 3-zip. 3 points, probably not going to win this Super Bowl, but at least you get something on the opening drive.
And it's certainly not going to lose it. So the bottom line is, come away with the points now, come back and get greedy later, and try and put it in the end zone.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Kirk Cousins leading out the Vikings. Remember, the Minnesota Brass shelled out the big money to bring in Cousins a couple of years ago because they wanted to make it to this very game. They brought him in from Washington, and Cousins has him on the biggest stage in all of football, ready to go, trying to win their first ever Super Bowl. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 12 yards there, 1st down Vikings.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. Off the play fake, Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
For a lot of people, there are pros and cons to playing close to home in the NFL, but for Adam Thielen, it's nothing but pros. Grew up not too far from the Twin Cities, loves being a Viking, and is a really dependable 3rd down receiver.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this 1st quarter. To throw again on 2nd down. Cousins, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. And here are the Raven defensive starters.
Earl Thomas is the rangiest free safety in the game. Great reactions, great understanding, and boy, will he strike you when the ball's in his area.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, here's Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. He'll get 15 and a Vikings 1st down.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. The tackle made by L.J. Fort.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On third down, Cousins. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. That's a throw he'd like to have back. Now fourth down.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
So on fourth down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. Back deep is DeAnthony Thomas. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 15. They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
On 2nd down, it's Ingram. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Rolling to his left. He may try and run for this. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. Looking for Snead, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Single slot.
Following the interception, Cousins. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. The safety that time, Tony Jefferson there on the coverage.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. On 2nd down, Cook. Down close to a 1st down at the Ravens' 25.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And Cook was fighting for it, but I don't think he got there. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Field goals all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away. This is taken at the 3. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
And on this play, the read for the quarterback was the defensive end, and he was totally focused on the quarterback. He should have given it off inside to the running back. Instead, he kept it and ended up taking a loss on the play.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Draw play. Ingram now. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, it's Jackson. He's going to find his tight end, Boyle. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. On is the punter, Cook, who sends it away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
And now out comes Minnesota. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So, yes, your definition is apropos in this case.
And he was very fortunate there to get out of his end zone. He maybe got back to the 2-yard line.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
On 2nd down now. It's Cook. Showed some flash on the run, but he will be brought down shy of his 10. A 6-yard pickup on the ground that time, and that'll make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. He finds his man Johnson. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a first down for him, too.
36. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home. Let's make these...
Running the jet sweep. This is Thielen with it. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. These two teams all tied after 1. Now a give running right, it's Cook. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Vikings on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Cousins. It's caught by Treadwell. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. Cousins able to connect with Treadwell for a Minnesota first.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Throwing, Cousins. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
They'll run on first down. Cook. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. To throw, Cousins. And the catch made by Johnson. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. The first down run not going to get them a whole lot. Maybe a yard. Yeah, it looks like just 1 yard there, so that'll bring up 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Let's get out the field, defense.
Play action now. Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Now Cousins. Setting up the screen for Cook. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It'll be a loss of 7 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. And he's been busy with his feet. He's been quite the scrambling man.
And obviously that can break down a defense, but a lot of it is just that they just get trapped with worrying about it so much that other things break down as well. You know, you break the huddle, and you're not just playing what comes out at you. You're like, oh, God, don't let him outside of the pocket. Don't let him beat us with his legs. And then he starts to beat you other ways.
So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong, you know, back and forth like that? But it definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Incomplete.
We always talk about receivers. If the ball hits your hand, you're supposed to haul it in, but it is hard to adjust to a pass thrown a little bit behind you.
That one was all the momentum going forward. Couldn't contort his body back to grab it. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Jackson. He can run for it, and he will. And he's going to come up well shy of the first here as the tackle's made right around the 12. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
And they had an extra defensive back on the field on that play, and the coverage was excellent. He tried to pull it down and run for it, but they rallied to him and kept him short of a 1st down.
Here's Sam Cook now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Looks like he's going to get a couple here on this 1st down carry, and that'll make it 2nd and 8. Patrick Onwuasor up to make the tackle.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Switch.
Now a run with Cook. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that, got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. On play action, Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play.
Let's go.
Running the jet sweep. This is Thielen with it. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them. So not quite a 1st down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. Cook following the penalty. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. This is Johnson. He's got it. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 32-yard line.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Cousins on 1st down. And Diggs has it. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 yards there. 1st down, Vikings.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
On first down, it's Cook. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. With the first touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. And they got the extra point, and the lead is now 10-3. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Jackson now. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. Trey Waynes, the Michigan State man, right there in coverage.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson. And his throw here is incomplete. Trying to get it to Willie Snead there. And it's 3rd down.
Well, sometimes those cliches really come true, don't they? When they talk about it takes all 11 to play good defense. We've seen that in this ball game. I think the secondary has to be singled out, though. They are in the presence of every receiver whenever the ball's thrown. And this one, they help force another incompletion.
Now it's Jackson. That's into the hands of the tight end Boyle. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Kirk Cousins now gearing up to lead this offense back out there. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes, but right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground, and he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They run with Cook. He's been busy tonight. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
They'll run on first down. It's Cook. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
On second down, it's Cook. And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. And that'll be incomplete. Now, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
Oh, boy, partner, did that just happen? I've got my hand over my eyes right now because, like him, it's going to haunt my dreams, too. He was wide open. How did he overthrow him there?
Defensively, just very lucky. You know that they got away with one there. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field.
And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. They run. It's Mark Ingram. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore first down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. A reminder, coming up at intermission, we'll get highlights of this Super Bowl from Jonathan Coachman and the crew in Orlando for our EA Sports halftime report. And it's incomplete, broken up. But there is a flag down. Let's see what that's about. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. This is the correct call.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. They go screen. This is Ingram. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 12 yards the pickup there. Good for a Raven first.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Throwing is Jackson. Snead's got it. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on second down. Now it's Jackson. Outright, this is Boyle, the tight end. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half.
Here we go. Hey, hold on. Check. Walk 54. Come on, boy.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. On the move to his left. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Set, ready. 54. 60 out long. 54 now. Let's go.
They'll throw on first down with Jackson. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Shamar Stephen busting through to get him for a loss of 6.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper in the territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. Ravens going to use their third and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. And they'll be in search of 6 yards here on third down. This is now the 9th play of the drive. Now Jackson. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. The defensive end, Daniil Hunter, drops him.
It's a set. Come on, fellas.
So we've come upon halftime in the big one, the Super Bowl. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. What a season this has been. Hard to believe it ends tonight, as we'll get back to you guys for the second half of this Super Bowl in just a moment.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The never tedious halftime show behind us, and now it's back to football as we get going again in Super Bowl 54. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Here's a quick throw to Thielen. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, 75 yards. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game being on second half no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
Let's go.
The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. The drive starts here with a carry by Ingram. Able to shake free for about 7 up to the 35.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
So we got man.
A 10th carry here for Mark Ingram. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Come on, Shaq. Hey, come on out here. Come get some. Come get some.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
We're ready. Pittsburgh. My boy. You must be getting tired of seeing me.
On 2nd down now. It's Ingram, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Sliding out of the pocket. He may try and run for this. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game's slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quit in him.
Zero.
Here's Hill, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here.
Yeah, anything, change it up, because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
Here's Hill one more time. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Jackson. He can run for it, and he will. 5 yards that time out of the scramble, but now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
He certainly had plenty of success running the ball, and right now I'm getting the sense that he's looking to take off and run every time he steps back to throw it.
But they did a nice job there collapsing on him and holding him to a short gain. Now Justin Tucker. He has hit from 61 in his career, so he has the leg for this. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, let's see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time.
That's true.
That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Cousins to throw it. It's complete to Diggs. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. To throw is Cousins. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion.
Let's go, D.
From the gun, here's Cousins. And that is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Pressure comes and it's blocked. The Ravens block it. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And it's 6 points for the Baltimore Ravens.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did,
Speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Here I come again. Here I come again. Here I come again.
Jackson from the shotgun. And he'll get in for the 2 points. And that'll cut the deficit down to just a field goal. Well, I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense back on the field. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your coach? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
That's what he's done here in this one so far. And they'll start out here with a jet sweep. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Tackle made there by Tony Jefferson.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Cook. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Cousins from the gun on 3rd. That's to Cook out of the backfield. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him.
Cook stripped. The ball's out. And it's picked up by the Ravens. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a 3rd down.
Typically on the read option play, when we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. How about the inside linebacker, though? His job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short gain. Did it to perfection.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. They'll try to run for the first with Ingram. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beefeaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a first down.
And that is no good. Hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in. And this score will stay right where it is. Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the second miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Cook. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. It felt like he was in the pocket all day, never got rid of it.
And when you have that much time, you've got to either find someone open or get rid of it, because with that amount of time to throw the ball, that means the offensive line's done a really nice job.
Here's Britton Colquitt now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
On 1st down, Ingram. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The Ravens get a new set of downs, give them 17 on that pickup.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10.
Come on, check three.
Now it's Ingram. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Check, ready. 60 outlaws. I'm coming. What? Go.
Another carry for the workhorse tonight, Ingram. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 7 yards there and a first down.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? Second and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. They'll run on first down. It's Ingram, and not a lot of daylight. Not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition.
Ingram churning. He lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Here's Jackson to throw. He's going to find his tight end Boyle. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. On first down, it's Ingram. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. On second down, it's Edwards. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Jackson on first down. They'll roll him out right. He'll try and run it. And down inside the 15 he goes. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Let's go, fellas.
1 quarter remains here in the Super Bowl. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. And a 20th carry now for Ingram. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Ingram again. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens have retaken the lead. Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
No. Davis from the top rope. I like it. Justin Tucker for the extra point. It's up and good to make it 21-17. So that drive 7 plays in length. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Complete, it's Johnson.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Throwing is Cousins. And Diggs has it. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Cousins now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Draw play. Cousins to Cook. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Tight as Ringo.
On second and very short, Cousins. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on second down leads us to third and inches. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. And that gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10. Now Cousins. Setting up the screen for Cook. Fights through and now a crease. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, second and 2.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Facing a second and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Cousins now. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. Over 100 yards receiving for him now in this Super Bowl.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. First down, here's Cousins. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph, but it'll be second down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
On second down, Cousins again. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's third down.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
On the last play, yes, but there have been some good numbers put up against them offensively. On the ground, it's Cook. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And did he get in? No, down at the 1-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. What makes a draw play like that successful?
Well, we did see where he made the first wave miss, and that was a big part of it. But a lot of it is just being actors back there, making the defense think it's going to be a pass.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on first and goal. Cousins. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. It's a safety blitz and a sack for Earl Thomas.
Well, surprise, surprise. First and goal at the 1. No quarterback sneak. No running play. They decided to throw for it, but the pressure got to them quickly and put the quarterback down.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on second and goal here. Throwing, Cousins. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Big play coming up. Here's third and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And down he goes. A coverage sack. Took too long to get rid of it.
Well, how about that? a dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And Bailey able to knock it through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. I guess the good news as they start this drive is that they still do have the lead, Charles. If their defense hadn't been able to hold them to a field goal on the other side, they'd be down. But now it's about preserving that very small lead.
It is preserving and maybe stretching it out a little bit, because if you're a starter on that side of the ball, I certainly hope you didn't loosen up your shoulder pads or start to cut the tape off, because if you did it way too soon. They've got to go back out there with renewed vigor, for lack of a better term, and also a good plan. They need points, and they need them now.
They'll try to run some clock with Ingram. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Again, they'll run with Ingram. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Ravens get a new set of downs, give him 17 on that pickup. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Now Jackson on 1st down. That's into the hands of the tight end, Boyle. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now it's Jackson, and he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
Throwing is Jackson. He's going deep for Brown. Coverage there by the safety, Harrison Smith. critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Adam Thielen and the rest of the Vikings offense, they get set for their next possession. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Defensively, that's Earl Thomas, the all-pro safety, knocking it free. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Pernell McPhee, always a threat to find the QB, and he gets to him there.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Here's Cousins. And pressure gets to him again. Marching in for the sack, Matthew Judon.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
That's what I'm talking about.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought up a punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. Returnable for Thomas. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough first downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. This pass into the arms of Snead, and he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. From the gun, Jackson. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a first down.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. The clock showing 2 minutes even in what's been a memorable Super Bowl 54. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll run on first down. Ingram. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ingram. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Throwing now is Jackson. Rolling to his right. And now he's going to use his legs. And he doesn't quite make it. Taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the 4th quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead. And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, Charles, he's already proven that he's not afraid to tuck that football down on the option, and he's into the end zone for the 2nd time in the game.
And that's exactly what you need from your quarterback, the ability to run the ball fearlessly. And, in fact, many quarterbacks will tell you running the football doesn't scare them. Standing in the pocket and taking blindside hits, that's what terrifies them.
Tucker with the extra point, and that will ensure that it will take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. So Cousins and the Vikings down 28-20, a little over 50 seconds remaining. And they have to have a touchdown to level this Super Bowl as they come up on first down. Cousins to throw. And the catch made by Johnson. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 17 yards, first down, Vikings.
This is where hustle and urgency come into play. I think you've got to get up there and spike it.
First down now, but that clock rolling. Now Cousins. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. That's caught inside the 20. Cousins finding Diggs on a big one. 46 yards.
Here we go.
One last shot now for Cousins. And this is going to be caught on the final play, a touchdown. How about that? And a two-point conversion now will send us to overtime.
So they got the touchdown they needed to cut this to 2, but now they've got to get back to the huddle. No celebration time. Got to figure out what they're going to do on the two-point conversion.
One of the biggest plays in Super Bowl history unfolding before our eyes. They need 2 to tie. He'll look to throw, and it is caught. They got it. So a touchdown and a two-point conversion with no time remaining, and we're off to overtime. Overtime in a playoff game, awesome setup. Remember, the rules the same as they would be in the regular season.
That's exactly right, Brandon. Remember, the receiving team, if they score a touchdown, game is over. But if they kick a field goal or don't score, the other team gets a chance to get the football. They get a possession. If they go down and score, they win the football game at that point. If both teams kick field goals, we keep playing. If a defense scores, let's say the receiving team gets the ball, doesn't score, or they throw a pick six or fumble, gets picked up, the defense scores, game over. But here's the best part. In the regular season, only one period is played. We could call it a tie. Here, we're going to play until we have a winner.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. From the gun, here's Cousins. He gets this one to Johnson. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
That's it, baby. That's it. That's it. Big hit.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Cousins gives way to Cook. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35.
If they're going to get a first down out of this, they're going to have to earn it because there's been tough going on the interior there. And here we are on 3rd and 1. Be prepared. Brace yourself. Could be some contact going on.
3rd and 1, trying to keep this drive in overtime going. A big one coming up. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And Cook was fighting for it, but I don't think he got there. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Just looking down at this with a naked eye, looks like they have about 1.5 yards. Any chance they go for it here?
There's a chance, but I have to say, punt the ball here. Get rid of this thing and try and help your defense a little bit. I know there's that temptation, and I know people have it on their play sheet. I have that one play that'll get me what I need, but if you don't get it, you pretty much handed the game to the other team.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Their defense did its job, got the stop. All they need is 3, and this is over.
Couldn't have done much else other than score themselves and end it. But they turned it back over to them, and now all they need is a field goal to win the game. An excellent job by the defense. Can the offense finish things off?
Yeah, part 1 is done. Now part 2. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 20. Ingram. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. He's had some big runs in this game. Not there, though.
But I don't think they're going to be deterred by that play right there. He's had some nice runs in the game. And how many times have we seen a good running back get stopped, yet turn it into something big on a later carry? I'd stay with him.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ingram. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
Set, ready. Take the outlaw. Push him back. Push him back.
Now what can Jackson do here in overtime? And that will be incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Here's Sam Cook now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well.
Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
A nice pickup on 1st down, 7 yards. This being their 2nd opportunity in overtime, 3rd overall drive. See if they can settle into a rhythm.
And that's what you're looking for. Get a few first downs, move the ball downfield, have some confidence, get yourself in a spot where you can at least kick a field goal to win it. But I tell you this, if I'm the play caller, I'm looking at that part of my sheet that says playmakers. Get the ball in their hands, critical situation, now's their time.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. Now Cousins here on the bootleg. And this is Cook with a grab.
And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. Charles, any chance they go for it here?
I think that there's a chance. They have to consider it because of the way they played offense in this game. I mean, look at the scoreboard. Look at the points that they've put up. They feel confident that they can keep it going. But the risk is, and the downside is, you don't get it here, you've set up your opponent in really good field position.
And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. And now trotting back out with the rest of his offensive mates, the big tight end. And look at the numbers. They have gotten him more involved. I guess the question now, Charles, defensively, how do you make him less involved?
That's always the key question, isn't it? Sometimes other guys are starting to play really well, and you shift your attention to them. You got to make sure you've got full focus on him because he's so good that if you don't, he finds a way to make plays. Always have 2 guys in his vicinity, usually trying to bump him off the line of scrimmage and get him out of his route.
Here's Ingram. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
You don't see that a ton, do you? Or the cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
Escaping the pressure right. He's going to take off with it. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. Got a man, it's Brown. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one goes for 24 yards. Offensively, back-to-back really nice plays. This defense, they've got 2 timeouts, maybe should burn one.
Yeah, when you get back-to-back explosive plays, to me, anything over 10 yards, I don't care if it's a run or a pass, I count it as an explosive play. That sets your defense back on its heels. A timeout here would be a good idea and try and get themselves settled because we're in OT. This is big time.
On 1st down, Ingram, and he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ingram. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore 1st down.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up 1st downs.
So it's up now to one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history, Justin Tucker. Another timeout called by the Vikings now. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT. So it's up now to one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history, Justin Tucker. This undoubtedly the biggest kick of his life. And his kick is good. The field goal is through the uprights, and they've won the Super Bowl. And it's all over. Just one is left standing, and that one is the Baltimore Ravens, your Super Bowl champions. And their remarkable season ends in the most remarkable of ways. They get to put next to their name, Super Bowl champion.
And they can't ever take that away, can they?
Nope.
That lasts forever. So good to see the emotion when it's all said and done. You see the hugs, you see the guys sharing, the collective happiness. Makes me want to carry you around a little bit on my shoulders to celebrate the triumph. And congratulations to them, a fantastic season.
this year just how everybody wants to end the year, holding the Lombardi Trophy. What a season for them. What a ride it's been for us as well here in the booth. For Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next season right here on EA Sports.